Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at the graph, GRT, seeing what's going on. I got a lot of requests for this, so I'll just go ahead and jump in and quickly cover this, of course. So if you're new to the channel, just know I'm not a financial advisor, right? I've been teaching and trading for a very long time, over 17 years, so I hope that you can learn something here today, of course. If you want to learn a lot more, obviously, cryptocash.tech is a site. Link down below, we have a brand new website. It's really awesome, super cool. Be sure to check that out. Also, furthermore as well, with my Discord, you can see some amazing community members here. Take a look at this Shannon Green for a nice LRC long, as well as Gala, 48%, and Render at 46%. So the list goes on, honestly, for just how awesome my community members are. Keep up the good work. Super proud of you guys and gals, of course, and just thank you for being an amazing part of my life. And obviously using the best exchanges in the industry right now. Currently, Bitget, we have a $4,000 prize pool monthly. That does change, it adjusts upwards and downwards based on volume. Same thing with ByBit too. We have some competitions coming up here as well. But as you can see, we have a nice healthy deposit bonus, so be sure to use them if you'd like to use my Cornix features, where I have automated trades built in specifically for that. Last but not least, of course, is MEXC Global. They offer leverage trading in the United States with no VPN. Be sure to check them out. They have a really awesome event trading right now. Again, everything's down below, link in the description. So here's the thing with GRT or the graph. What we're looking at here, of course, is some interesting stuff. Now, what I want to touch on and highlight is the fact that I'm using older Fibonacci retracement levels, because we want to kind of identify larger support and resistance zones, okay? Now, it's kind of one of those things like, well, when do I draw out new Fibonacci retracement levels? How do I do that effectively? There's no real wrong way to do it because it'll always get you close in the ballpark. But generally speaking, since we are overextended in the most recent time frame, it makes sense to go a bit larger with the time frames because the fact that you want to understand what those larger time frames are going to tell us. Now, we don't want to go too big, of course, because we're still small in the big picture, but in the most recent time frame, a Fibonacci retracement level right here wouldn't give us too much, obviously, right? It's moving outside of that range. So for the moment, till today's candlestick closes, we're going to use some previous Fibonacci retracement levels. We're going to also look at some indications here. So on the daily, we can see RSI and volume are extremely high. So the money flow index is basically telling us that we are basically at one of its all-time highs. I mean, it's gone. I don't even know if it's gone higher than that. Come to think of it, we're pretty much maxing out right now with the amount of money flowing into it. So that really does imply here that there's a decent chance we could see a pullback, right? Because the last time it did this, it pulled back pretty heavy, if you will. Again, this is a rough estimate, but somewhere in the range of 30% correction. It would make total sense if the graph came down a little bit. Okay, not saying it's just going to drop like a rock because it's obviously moving fast and nice. A lot of coins like these are doing very well right now, but for lack of better terms, it's extremely overextended. We can also see some different candlestick patterns kind of forming here. Well, generally speaking, you have a 3 white soldiers pattern where you see 3 green days followed by a 4th red day. Well, it can oftentimes come in this kind of situation too, where you see a red day in between, followed by 1 or 2 in front or back. So at this point, it makes sense that the price is shooting off today, but it also is going way further than it should. Okay, we'll look at some other indicators kind of telling us how far overextended we are. But for the moment, in this current trend, ever since we kind of plateaued out here and kind of had this little ascending trend, this little breakout, we can see that we are at a 5. So hypothetically, again, strictly hypothetical here, we could see another 4 more days of continuation of the upside. The likelihood of that is fairly low, but it's still probable or possible, right? Is it probable? I think not, but let's take a look and see how healthy this is. This is not a great continuation in my opinion. Okay, well, actually correction, there's some goodness, but some bad too. What I mean by that is we came up to a 9 here, kind of hit this little plateau. We retested this level multiple times, this Fibonacci here at about 11.7. So 11.7 cents. And the price shot up here, right? This little short squeeze there where the shorts got squeezed out, hedged with longs. Another pennant type of pattern here where the price breaks out to the upside. This current push, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-hour candlesticks in. That being said, we're about 20 hours into a 36-hour continuation. Hypothetically, we've got another 12 to 16 hours of push to the upside before it pulls back. But you're starting to see some strong resistance here. See how large these candle wicks are? That tells us that we're probably reaching a plateau here at this point of right there at about 18.6. So if the price were to pull back, it would make more sense than it going further from here. But once again, we're not overextended completely, even though this is somewhat of an unhealthy pattern. What I mean by unhealthy is if you look at the 1 hour, you'll probably see a lot of overextension there. with minor pullback, and that is telling me that we should see somewhat of a retracement here soon, because once again, you see 2 nines in a row on TD sequential. The price will probably retrace to the next the closest, most recent Fibonacci retracement level. All right, so let's look at some other standard stuff too. 4 hour, big surprise, we're up over 70 on the RSI at 90. And based on volume, we're also seeing an 85. Anything over 80 is too much, okay? So once again, overextended on pretty much all time frames, minus the continuation, okay? Because again, we're only 20 hours into this run, right? Could continue, but should it? Probably not. All right. Looking at the 1 hour though, let's take a look at this here. This is what I was referring to. When you hit a 9 and you keep going. 9, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're at basically at 2 nines. This should literally say a 9 right here, but it didn't because we didn't get that official reset, right? So we've got 2 nines in a row, kind of giving us a pretty strong push to the upside. So if you think about it, like this is the equivalent of running 2 marathons in a row. Unless you are an Olympiad or whatever the case, you are not going to continue to be able to do very well in that second run as well as you did in the first, okay? So the bulls are becoming exhausted. We can see that reflecting here with this candle as well. Super large candle wick. I think that's referred to as a gravestone doji, or it's forming as a gravestone. Basically just telling us that the reversal would make sense, okay? So I'm not saying to short the graph, but I am saying that this is a strong likelihood of a reversal, and that if you were to buy the next dip, it should be either one of these two places, 15.8 or 13.7. Because once again, strong resistance works as a support level. Fibonacci retracement level also works as a support level. This is a strong Fibonacci retracement level. That's the most recent high that we saw in the past, the relative recent past. Okay. So again, a lot of reasons why the price should pull back here. Should it continue to run? Probably not. Once again, stranger things can happen. This is cryptocurrency, right? You got to be ready for it. If you're gonna have a stop loss, make sure it's realistic. Don't go too lofty. This is very dangerous territory, and I definitely recommend being cautious and careful. Last but not least, Ichimoku Cloud says if you have a long position open, you leave it open. Don't bet against the house. The probability of the price action continuing higher is still there, okay? So what you could do realistically is wait a few more hours. If the price can't break through this plane, it might be advantageous to consider shorting. But to me, I don't think it's wise, honestly, at this point. We're halfway through its maturity, if you will, on this continuation on both the 4 hour and the 1 day time frame. So hypothetically, we got 5 more days of continuation, or at the very least another 15, 16 hours. Even though the 1 hour is overextended by far, the 4 hour and the daily are not quite there yet, and I've seen 3, 4, 5 nines in a row on TD sequential on the hourly when coins like this take off. Okay, so this coupled with the fact that the traditional markets had some positive news here with the likelihood of inflation decreasing in the next this next year, I think we're in a good chance where this could very well continue to run. So to me, waiting on the sidelines is the best thing to do in this situation here. But once again, stranger things can happen. I hope they don't happen, and for your sake, we're in good shape. Very, very last thing to double check here is our CC golden indicator, and we can see all these white X's are basically indications of the fact that the price is well above 70 on the RSI, and that you might want to consider taking some profit on the way up. Okay, so this is my CC golden indicator. This is something that we had created, of course, and it's based off my tried and true method for volume weighted average price and exponential moving average 15. So it's basically taking the EMA 15 and the VWAP and giving you an indication that we have confirmation. So hypothetically, you took any one of these entries, you'd be sitting very pretty right now. Okay. So again, these little flags are here for a reason to help indicate good entry points because we have a specific scenario in place. Okay. So this is really nice. You can just set up your alerts and indications there, get in, get out, take some nice profit. Once again, this is available previously to my community members, but moving forward, of course, you have the option to be able to pay for this through my website. I'll have that available very, very soon because I get a lot of requests for it. Figure I'd go ahead and bring that to your attention. Anyways, thanks again so much for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope this was helpful. Thanks again. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.